Okay, Professor Bear here again. Last time we talked about how we've been doing our little AdSense thing through the Google Ad Grants nonprofit for 3 days and got 0 impressions in spite of highly optimized 99.9% scores on the web pages. And what Google told us, the Google Deep Research tool told us, was that we needed to do the smart bidding. And it looks like smart bidding involves a lot of work to do it sort of the way Google wants you to do it. And what do I mean by that? Basically, when you stick analytics on your pages, Google starts looking at those analytics and begins to do their little back-end voodoo to see what they think is the most. They know a lot more about the audience. They know a lot of information about who's looking at our page. We have no idea about who's looking at our page. Google has a ton of information on you when you're looking at. They're just tracking you all over the internet. And so when somebody visits one of our pages, they already know a lot about them. And they want us to give them even more information about them. So essentially, we add our analytics thing, and that allows Google to sort of, when somebody comes, integrate it with the campaigns. Further, they want us to track what they call micro interactions. And so what that means is if we click on something like the page, how long do we stay on a page? Do we click on a button? Which button? Do we watch a video? Do we do this, do that? And they expect us to add code, which we will do, in order to help them track them. This is a lot of work. So this is the code that I just wrote. I don't know if it works yet until we implement it. They want us to like track scroll depth. You know, how deep does somebody go down a page? They want us to know how long does somebody watch a video on a page. They want to know which buttons are clicked, which interactions, how much time is spent on the page. They want a lot of information. And they expect us to give this information, which we will do. I'll be really pissed, though, if we give them all this information and we still get 0 impressions and we're not really using any of the grant that they supposedly gave us. But we'll go ahead and do this and try. I'm going to take it on faith that Google is doing this in good faith. They just want us to do a ton of work to help them. And then, so what we're going to do is we're going to do that. What's important, and we have a lot of videos up on this already, is this isn't necessarily that easy to do for non-experts doing web stuff. And what I mean by that is our little thing here is a React app. So this is a web page, but it's basically an application. It's a program. And what that means is everything is a function. You call a page, and a page is a function. And why that's important, particularly for this kind of stuff, is you don't really want, if you have lots of pages, hundreds of pages, thousands of pages, you don't really want to be adding all this tracking code by hand. You want to add it once and have it work on every page. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to make some videos on how we do that. We're not going to make them immediately because our focus right now is just to sort of get this ad grants thing going, see if it works. But to best of our understanding right now, and this is mostly using research with Google's own tool, the deep, whatever it's called, deep research of what we need to do. And so basically, this is the whole scope. We have a little web page here, not a web page, a GitHub here, talking about exactly what we're doing, and also another one on the problem. The basic problem is this: if you were to bid like $2 for a visit, you're not going to get any views. For some reason, people spend ridiculous amounts of money to get a view on their webpage, and so spending $2 will just not get you any traffic. And so your $10,000 grant is just not worth anything because you don't get any views. And they can't just say, okay, I gained 10,000, so I'm just going to spend $100 per click. Google won't want that. They don't want that. They want you to work to do relevancy, which that I agree with Google on. Sort of the intent is Google wants somebody to go to a page because they want to be on that page. And that's also in line with what you want. You want somebody on that page because they're interested in what you offer. You're a nonprofit, what you do. But they do require a ton of work. And not so simple work. We happen to be experts on this, so we can do this. But I think for a lot of nonprofits, this would be an almost insurmountable barrier, and from just a purely technical standpoint. But what we're going to do is we're going to create videos on what we do and share it with people. Also, we'll just share template websites, which you can just, use Vercel and upload and start adjusting. But this is the basic idea. The basic idea is Google has the smart bidding thing. And what they do is they just sit there and according to Gemini, which is Google's own thing, it's going to take 3 or 4 days for them basically just to sort of be collecting data on your webpage before they even start serving impressions. Actually, no, 1 to 2 weeks. So this is according to Gemini. Gemini, it just might sit there just for the collecting data until it feels it has enough data before it even gives you an impression. But we're going to do the thing. We're going to see if Google is up to their word and is serious about this or not, and do everything. Everything is, we went through the first thing of making our pages super compliant, 99.9% relevancy source. But apparently we had to do this other thing. And what this other thing is, giving Google a lot of data. They already had a ton of data in there, and they want more. And so they literally just want us to track what they call micro conversions. And that's specifically these things. Scroll down, video engagement, and help them do that. Meaning we have to add code to our website, which makes it easier for them to accurately track these things. And we're going to go ahead and do that. We'll see. My guess is it's going to be 2-3 weeks before we even get any kind of results or impressions. And my big take home here is this isn't a trivial ask on Google's part. And so we'll put up a lot of tutorials for nonprofits who want to take advantage of this program, but just simply don't have the technical skills to do it. So this may change tomorrow. This is what our understanding is now. Our understanding now is if you're a Google, ad grants nonprofit thing, you got to use smart bidding. Smart bidding requires 2 things. They relevant pages, which are fairly easy to do. You just create pages which are actually relevant to your campaign, which would mean you're matching the content with what's in the campaign. The other thing you need to do is basically just give Google a lot of data, because they want you to track what they call micro conversions. Scroll down, video engagement, button clicks, warm interactions, And while that's true, it'll make a much more relevant experience. This is a big ask on Google's part. They're asking for a lot of data on people. This is not personal data, meaning not their name or their income or their gender, but a lot of behavior of their behavior on the website. So we'll go ahead and do that. If it were personal information, we would just say no. But because it's sort of anonymous stuff, just how long did you stick on the page? And that gives us information as well. Is the page engaging? So we'll do this probably in the next day or so. I've already written the components. We haven't tested them yet. Meaning we have to try them out and see if they actually work or are there bugs in it. But I suspect they probably work now. We just, put in our IDs and things. But we'll probably do that over the next couple of days. It'll probably be a couple weeks before we maybe even get impressions. I'll be really pissed if we spend all this time and we still get no impressions. But we'll do what we can do. This is our best understanding of what Google's asking. And this is a big ask. I just don't understand how they expect most nonprofits to do this. This is a big technical ask. It's an easy thing for us to do because this is our world. But I don't think this is most people's world. And so, it's a little confusing to me why Google sort of forces this kind of technical requirements on nonprofits. Our nonprofit is about technology, but most nonprofits aren't. So I'll think about that, discuss that later. But this is my understanding so far. So we have to use the smart bidding thing because we can't compete price-wise through the ad grants. I don't think I would want to pay $15 here quick anyway. That's just ridiculous. And the way to do it is highly optimized pages and giving Google a lot of data by essentially giving them code to be able to track microinteractions. Okay, take care.